Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the unboxing and have a first look at this Moto G54 5G smartphone. And I feel this is a very important smartphone in the value mid-range market. I knew that this pricing of the smartphone will be actually pretty aggressive, but just now I came to know the actual Indian pricing, and I have to say the pricing is way better than what I thought. I'll let you know the pricing, and that makes it a very special smartphone, because I feel after a very long time in the Indian market, we are getting a mid-range smartphone at a very good price that does not compromise on most of the features that users actually want. So let's do the unboxing of this Moto G54 5G smartphone. And by the way guys, it's a proper 5G smartphone. It has 14 bands of 5G, and also it is actually supporting the upcoming Jio VoNR, that is voice over new radio. And many of the 5G, some of the 5G smartphones do not support that, but this is I asked Motorola guys, this is a review net of course, and they told yes, it is certified for VoNR. So whenever Jio rolls that VoNR functionality, that will be working. And again, here it gives us an idea about some of the specs. And I like the fact that this is actually having a 50 megapixel main camera. Looks like only 2 cameras, so no gimmicks of 4 or 5 cameras or whatever. And it is actually having OIS, which is a rarity in this price, and I'll talk about the pricing, then you'll appreciate what I'm talking about. Also, it has a big battery, that's a 6000 milliamp hour battery, and this also has Dolby Atmos, and yes, it is having a proper stereo speaker. So I'm also excited about this. So let's open this up and let's have a look. So again, some more specs over here. It says, and typical Motorola fashion, plastic case is pre-applied. I believe it comes in 3 different colors. There's also a green color. I don't know why they didn't send me that one, because that would have looked a lot cooler in my frank opinion. Yes, this green one is the blue. You also have the black one. So this is the phone itself that you're getting. So it's a little bit reflects a light. And we have the dual camera. We'll come back to the device later. Let's see what else do we get in the box. So we have a user guide, some paperwork, SIM ejector tool. Let's just take out that SIM ejector tool. And we also have a Type-C cable and a Type-A connector. And this is supposed to be a 30-watt charger that we are getting in the box. That's a Motorola, yes, 33-watt charger that we are getting in the box with the Type-A connector. So that's what we have, and this is supposed to have a massive 6000 milliamp hour battery. This is supposed to have a 6.5-inch screen. It's a full HD panel that we are getting, but again, I heard this is actually having adaptive sync from 30 Hertz to 120 Hertz that we can go. Generally, if you notice, we have adapters in higher-end smartphones, but that's not the case in the mid-range. Okay, I'm talking a lot about the pricing. So let me first talk about the pricing of this smartphone. And again, here, Motorola is doing first in its segment. This smartphone will come in 2 variants. One is that 8 gigabytes of RAM with 128 gigabytes of storage. But the second variant, I'm very excited, because that will come with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. And in this price segment, we are not seeing any smartphone that is having 12 gigabytes of RAM. So if you're a person who likes to keep the smartphone a longer period of time, you don't change it every year or something, maybe you could go for the 12 gigabyte RAM variant. And the storage is UFS 2.2 on both the variants. So let me talk about the pricing. Here I was very impressed. The base one, I have written down the pricing. The base one will be sold for 16,000 rupees. But again, there is also ICICI offer. If you have ICICI cards, you can get 1,500 rupees off on all the variant. So the base variant will work out for just 14,500 bucks. And the 12 gigabyte RAM variant with that 256 gigabyte storage, its price is 18,999. That's almost 19,000. So if you apply that card discount 1,500, that works out to 17,500. So that makes it actually very aggressive, I would say, in terms of pricing. Okay, let's look at the device itself. As I've told you, 6.5-inch screen that you are getting, full HD, variable refresh rate that you are getting. And people have asked me, and this is supposed to have Panda Glass protection. Looks like stereo speakers are there. So we'll look at it later on. And what is this? That's noise cancellation microphone that we are having. Volume rocker, so side mounted fingerprint scanner. bottom vent for the speaker, Type-C port. Also the 3.5mm headphone jack, I appreciate that, and I believe this will support that FM radio also. So here is the SIM tray. Let's look at it. So we also have a rubber gasket. I forgot. Yes, this is also splash proof. I believe this is IP52 rated. So we do get a hybrid slot, so you can further expand the storage with the micro SD card if you really want. But again, if you are opting for the 256GB variant, I don't think so you'll need that. But yeah, that option is there. Moving to the rear setup, I like that it's just having 2 cameras instead of that 4 camera gimmicks or something like that. The main camera is a 50 megapixel. It is also having OIS, that's optical image stabilization, and it shoots in pixel bend mode, that's 12.5 megapixel. The second camera is interesting. That's a 8 megapixel, but it does a job of actually 3 cameras. It does ultra wide, it does macro, and also depth. So that's what it is. And in terms of looks also, it looks really nice. I would say this is that blue color. I feel that the green might look the best in terms of colors. Anyways, so this is what the device is, and I'll have all the specs here for your reference. So let me do one thing. Let me actually boot this up, and then we'll continue. So guys, this is actually the next day, and I have used this device for approximately 1 day. Now let me give you my impressions. And the first thing that actually surprised to me is that I actually forgot that this was having a 6000 milliamp hour battery, because I thought it would weigh a ton, but surprisingly the weight balance is done very well, and this is just 192 grams. So it does not feel actually very heavy like many of the other smartphones that we have seen coming with 6000 milliamp hour battery. Those were above 210 grams. So that way it's good. Moving to the screen, guys, as I've told you, it's a IPS LCD screen that we are having, and again, it's not an AMOLED, but again, this is that having that adaptive refresh. And if you go towards the setting, again, very close to stock Android experience that you are getting, typical Motorola experience that you expect. And if we go to display here, if you have a look, these are the settings that we have, and display I've set it to auto, and I would suggest that you leave it on auto, because here it moves between 30, 60 and 120 hertz automatically based on what you're doing. You can also force it to 160 or always to 120. I kept it on auto, and if you notice, the scrolling, everything is very smooth on this one. So that 120 hertz thing actually works very well on this smartphone. Now coming to the processor, some of you have asked me, this is having the MediaTek Dimensity 7020 processor, and this is very similar to the MediaTek Dimensity 930, but I would say it's not the same. This is slightly souped up version of that one. This one is actually having a new ISP. This is supposed to be about 27% faster, and also this one actually employs the new MediaTek HyperEngine 5. Hence, in gaming also this is slightly better. So yes, very similar to 930, but again, much, I would say you could call it the plus version. So that way, and in fact, I would say again, during the past 1 day of usage, I haven't noticed any stutters or lags. And in fact, in this price range, if you're looking at this processor, this one has to be one of the fastest processor in this price range. So that way, I would say they have done a good job in using this processor. Also, I did not notice any issues of overheating or anything with this processor. The fingerprint scanner is here, embedded here within the power of button, and as you can see, this is very responsive. So again, I do not have any issues with that. One thing I noticed is that on this version there was some bloatware. For example, I haven't uninstalled it. This Candy Crush game was there, this game was there, also Facebook, and even there was one more game, and LinkedIn, and there was also one more game that is pre-installed. But let's see if we can uninstall this bloatware. For example, let's say if I go here, you can go to the app info, and yes, there is that some of the extra apps, but you can uninstall them. So that's what it is. Also, the Dolby Atmos is there on this one, and I like it. So it does have that stereo speaker. Let me give you an idea. Let me play this, and let me increase the volume, guys. So this is the maximum volume, and yes, I'll block this, and as you can see, sound is coming from this one. So actually, I like the fact that the stereo effect is very good. And one thing I noticed is that the stereo effect actually changes if you are in this orientation or in this orientation. So they're employing that thing. So that way I would say in terms of media consumption, it should be actually a good experience. I always feel stereo speakers, they should actually provide in all smartphones, and I'm glad that Motorola did not skimp on this one. Another good thing is that we have the headphone jack, 3.5mm, and again FM radio is also supported on this one. If you are into that, yes, this smartphone has that. And overall I would say the responsiveness of this smartphone was good, considering the very aggressive price point. As we know that now, I would say I was, the expectations what I had, it worked better than this. In fact, I also ran the Geekbench 6 benchmark. Let me actually just show you. I saved the screenshot. In fact, the camera performance is also very good on this one. If I go to the library, I have saved, yeah, in the screenshot. As you can see, single core score of 924 and multi-core 2325, which is again a very respectable score. So that way I would say the choice of the processor, some of you were asking me, is a good one. And again, it's too early to talk about the battery life. Considering this processor is not that power hungry, you can easily get about, I am estimating about 2 days worth of battery life per charge on this smartphone. Again, it has that massive 6000 milliamp hour battery. So battery life is not an issue. Moving to the OS upgrades, guys, out of the box, this actually comes out of with Android 13 that you're getting on this smartphone. And Motorola has told me that it'll get the Android 14 upgrade and next 3 years of Android security update. So that is regarding the Android upgrades and the security upgrades on this smartphone. Also, I noticed some new softwares on this Moto Secure is actually there. In fact, this Moto Secure was generally reserved for their slightly higher end H series. So this is the first time they're bringing that in this G series, and this is very easy to use. And also you do also have the family space option, and of course the Motorola gestures and all those things are also there on this smartphone. Next thing that actually surprised me was the camera performance. Yes, I'm talking about the camera performance. Generally, Motorola smartphones, the camera performance is not that great. And to be very frank, I was expecting nothing considering the very aggressive price point on this one. Let me actually show you all these samples to give you an idea about the camera performance. First, some random samples in artificial lighting in my office, and as you can see, it did a good job. And here are some more casual shots. Again, it was a very cloudy, overcast, dull day, and these are some more samples just I took. And again, this is a regular shot, and this is that ultra wide. The ultra wide is actually really wide on this one. Also, I like that there's no major color distortion. Again, regular shot, and this was that ultra wide. You can also take these macro shots with that ultra wide and it comes out good. Again, to give you an example, this is with the regular lens and this is with that ultra wide using the macro. As you can see how close I could go. This was taken with the main lens, and I like the fact that you get decent background blur without even employing the portrait bokeh mode. Just notice the background blur. These are some of the selfies taken with the 16 megapixel front facing camera, and I feel it is actually doing a much better job than what I expected. Again, these are in the portrait bokeh mode with the front facing 16 megapixel camera. Hi guys, recording this sample with the front-facing camera of this Moto G54. It's a dull, cloudy day. It was just pouring in Hyderabad. But this is a quick sample recorded with the front-facing camera of this Moto G54. And the audio is also being recorded via its internal microphone. So guys, this is the Moto G54 5G smartphone. Again, I have to say, after a long time in the Indian smartphone market, we are getting a mid-range smartphone at a very aggressive price point without any major compromises, and I feel this can be a game changer. And I like the fact that you can get this Moto G54 with that massive 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, and if you employ those offers, that is available for just 17,500. I was just checking, and generally in the Indian smartphone market, if you want that configuration of 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, you generally simply do not have it around just below 30,000. You're getting those options, but I'm glad that Motorola has brought those options in this price segment. So definitely I would say the performance of the smartphone is very good. Surprisingly, the camera actually is very decent for the price point, I would say, and overall I would say it's a very good value package. But what do you guys feel about this Moto G54 5G? Do let me know in the comment section below. Anyways guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video.